is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Are you ready to travel? We got all the travel buzz here on Smart People, Travel Wise with Alvin Adriano on PHLV Radio.
Mabuhay to all of our viewers all across the globe. Thank you so much for all of your support. And it's 2 weeks until the new year, and we're all excited about a fresh start. If you're just tuning in, my name is Alvin Adriano, CEO of Travel Wise International, and I welcome you to our podcast, Smart People, Travel Wise. We love to chat with travel professionals and learn about what's going on throughout the travel industry. But first, if you're watching this live, please hashtag live. And if you're watching this on the replay, please hashtag replay. Also comment where you're watching from so we can make sure we highlight all of our viewers. And don't forget, please catch our show every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific time or 3 p.m. East Coast time on PHLV Radio, which is available on Facebook, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or even better, you can catch us on the PHLV Radio app, available on all iOS and Apple devices. Now, patience is a virtue that every balikbayan is exhibiting right now as we wait for the entry and health protocols to be relaxed. Filipinos across the globe have been waiting to hear that the quarantines and infection rates have been reduced and that our country is able to take tourism, go back and enjoy tourism in our country. One of the core economic drivers that produces 10% of our GDP, the Philippines is an underrated wanderlust destination that will be the next best travel destination in the future. And so today, on today's show, we'll be welcoming travel executives from the Philippines who will discuss with us the outlook of Philippine tourism and what balikbayans can expect when traveling home. So please welcome Ms. Kathy Nupomencho, Senior Vice President of Head and Sales of Operation of Discovery Hospitality, Ms. Angela Soriano, Director of Sales and Marketing, Discovery Premier in Makati, Mr. Carlos Soriano, Director of Sales and Marketing, Discovery Suites, Ortigas City, and back again, the ever so lovely Claire Del Rosario Bernabe, Director of Sales and Marketing with Discovery Hospitality Resorts. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Hello, hello. Can you guys?
Thank you for having us also.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
How's everyone doing in the holidays? I know the Philippines has the biggest celebration in the world. How are you guys doing and excited for the holidays?
Yes, Christmas shopping started in September. Christmas decorations as well.
Well, that's always the best. That's always the best when we start.
Everyone's busy. Traffic is coming back, but it's a good sign. Yep. It's a welcome change.
That's and that's what it is. I mean, we always want to end the year with positivity and thankfulness, and we always appreciate the end of the year so we can recognize all the hard work and honestly, I never imagined getting to this point. The beginning of the year is so challenging, but you know what? We're so thankful we got here, and we're all, we're here and fighting and entering 2022 with some positive notes. So thank you for all this.
That's right.
So elephant in the room, I'm sure everyone is waiting to hear. What is the current entry requirements and health protocols in Philippines for people coming or balikbayans to enter? Anyone want to go ahead and start? Kathy, maybe?
Yes,
No, go ahead, Angela.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll take that question.
Sure.
Yes, I'm Angela from Discovery Premier, but for our quarantine protocols or, the instructions on how to come into the country, currently we do have what we call the green list, yellow list, and red list. And I would want to focus on the yellow list because that's where the US is actually included. So for travelers coming from the US, so they are required to actually take a negative RT-PCR test 72 hours prior to their departing the country of origin. And then once they arrive in the country, they are required to actually stay in a hotel facility or what we call a quarantine facility. Actually, it has been lessened. It used to be 10-day stay, but now it's just 5 days for a vaccinated, 5 to 6 days for a vaccinated guest. So on the 5th day, the swab is going to be done. And once it's negative, then they can actually check out the following day as soon as the result is out. And then they just can continue on their 14-day quarantine at home. So it's actually that easy now. It's not as long as, before it used to be like 10 to 14 days. No, it's not.
That's
It
right.
has already been lessened.
Yeah.
For unvaccinated, the difference with unvaccinated traveler from the US, instead of doing the swab on the 5th day, the swab is done on the 7th day in the hotel facility. So it's like for unvaccinated, it's an 8-day stay in the hotel. But for a vaccinated, it's about 6 days stay. So it's not as, as long as before, that it's around 10 to 14 days.
Cool.
Yes. So
no, that's awesome.
And then they just correct. And then they just do the one health pass that is required by the BOQ. They just register 24 hours prior to departing the country of origin. And that's where they can also schedule their swab. So that's it. It's actually been done pretty easy now. We have adapted, system apps that will actually be easier for all the travelers coming in. Even for the hotels, we have adapted, like Discover Primea, we try to make the quarantine or the journey as seamless and as convenient as possible. So at the point of inquiry, we already give them instructions, give them already a brief on what to expect, what the requirements being done. So we try to hold their hands until, they check out the hotel to make it easy and seamless for them. So we give instructions complete, even for the confirmation letters, coordinating with BOQ and transfer and all that. So we try to,
No, that's great. I mean, again, in the start of the pandemic, there was a lot of shock value. People, were going crazy because we didn't understand what the restrictions they were on and off, a lot of fluctuations. And it seems like now that the world has become more comfortable, we're starting to realize all of the requirements that's needed. It's not, and it doesn't stomp down the curiosity of people. People are still traveling. They just have to go through these, these hoopholes right now, just so that we can make sure that everyone is safe and protected while they're traveling.
That's right. And Alvin, sorry, if I may add as well, I mean, I think, the one thing good about the Philippines is, when the pandemic started, the industries really worked together and collaborated. So the airport authorities, Bureau of Quarantine, the hotel operators, and the travel agents, we really sort of vaulted in to make sure that we will continue that Filipino hospitality that we're known for. So you can imagine on the second year, we're really experts already. Even the airport is so pleasant now, right? We had to go through struggles, but I think at this point it's really easy. We have friends, we have relatives who have come back home, and they said it's really much smoother. And of course, when they get to a city hotel like Discovery Primea or Discovery Suites, that's even better, right?
I think you highlight some really great points. I mean, during the pandemic, we realized that a lot of the industry was very segmented or fragmented. And because of the challenge for the entire industry, we had to come together. There was a lot of community and support. And, I always tell people I'm a big advocate for the Philippines. But if you look at how the Philippines has mirrored a lot of things that Thailand has done and reopening in that region, Southeast Asia alone, Thailand and Philippines are the only two on the verge of reopening, opposed to everyone else. Vietnam, they're all in 14 days. So there's a lot of steps that have made progression in your attempts to reopen inbound tourism. So very kudos to all of the government there, all the tourism putting together their foot forward just to save this industry. So trust me, I understand. I tell people all the time who complain. It's just like, man, if you see all the other countries, they're not even open. Hong Kong's like 14 days no matter what. So
yeah,
it's true.
But we're getting into holiday season. It's getting cold in the US. It's been a long time. Do you guys see any foreseeable changes in the future? I mean, after New Year's last year, there were some announcements, rumblings. Do you guys hear anything in your side? Maybe whispers of zero quarantine?
Well, not they actually just released the latest protocol. I think it was 2 days ago, December 14, which is what I actually mentioned. They do update it every 15 days, if I'm not mistaken. If there's no any drastic, I mean, new variant or whatever, there's no surge at the moment. The number of cases in the Philippines has been really going down, so it's on the 200 mark, which is actually good. Most of hoteliers most of them are vaccinated. They have even extended the vaccination even to the families of hoteliers, which is good.
Yeah.
So I think there will be no drastic like moving it up again to 10 to 14 days. I don't think so.
Right.
Yeah. I think the ultimate goal is to eventually phase it out, obviously, because, as a country as well, we need to get back on track in terms of economies and the businesses and all that. And somehow, to a certain extent, having to quarantine sort of deters certain decisions of coming into a country, right? Mm-hmm. So I think the ultimate goal is to phase it out. But I think it is safe to say that we will do it, the country will do it very gradually because, Omicron is still, while they say it's mild, it's still something that we need to be careful about. And we've done so much effort for our country to really keep the virus at a minimum level. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to waste all that effort, right? It was hard enough to be able to accomplish that. So I think everyone in the government and, in the private sector is trying to balance it out. So a gradual transition, but obviously that is the ultimate goal.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, again, for everyone, communication and managing expectations is really important so people have an idea. Because when people, I don't know about you, but, my parents, when they don't know an answer, it really makes them very anxious. And so a lot of times communication was very important through the pandemic, just relaying information in an accurate, timely, and consistent manner. And I think, we've all adapted in ways that through social media platforms, podcasting like this, ways that we can actually relay messages so that we can, inform everyone in the correct manner. So love that. You also, Kathy, you talked about the community coming together and really finding ways to, build back tourism. Were there any innovations in the hospitality industry that kind of were born out of the pandemic that really highlighted the leverage, the strategic partnerships that you guys did?
Well, I have to take that question, Alvin.
Yes, go ahead, Carl.
In terms of the good thing that this pandemic actually brought to the industry is that one is the collaboration amongst stakeholders and other sectors or subsectors in the industry. It wasn't done before. How the airlines and the hotels and the government were closely working together to actually control the pandemic, to protect the industry, and to actually avoid the industry from collapsing or really losing it. There has been a lot of good things that came out from this pandemic. Aside from that, the pandemic really brought out the best and the creativity in all the people in the industry. It's from being the usual dine-in. There were this home kits that actually didn't stop hotels from selling what their specialties to every family who've been patronizing their products. At the same time, there are stricter or more stringent, I think, health and safety protocols now. More than ever, it has health and safety have become like like of utmost importance to in anything. It's not just in hospitality, but now it has been highlighted that for you to be able to attract guests, your health and safety protocols should be like at the prime, or um, really the top quality, or and best execution, because um, just like what we had as a campaign for health and safety protocols, we have the Safe Like Home. People should be feeling at home, safe, um, just like when they're staying in their own homes. And we've been staying in our own homes for like almost 2 years already. So if they will be coming out, it shouldn't be like not safer, or at least safe, just like their own homes.
Yo, that's awesome. I mean, again, we always rely on like crisis to really show us the opportunities and challenges that we can find solutions for. And I think for both of your hotels, I think 2021 was a really good year for you guys, because everyone innovated in ways like you mentioned, whether it's health protocols, whether it's finding new ways to streamline like digital check-in, contactless payments. But I believe you guys, both of your hotels were able to win some awards this year. That really shows how you were able to be resilient in this. I think Primea won
Asia's Business Travel Awards.
Yep, at the World Travel Awards,
Yes.
correct? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
And did Discovery Suites win anything? I believe I saw
Yes, Condé Nast Reader's Choice Awards,
Reader Choice Award.
Asia's top hotels.
Yeah, and you know, and those are a testament to your achievements, especially in this challenging year. To find resources where the supply and demand chain, and we're talking about logistics, and then being able to do that. Especially these are Reader Choice Awards. These are travelers during this time who are choosing. So that's a really good highlight that I wanted to show, because this isn't just industry to industry. These are actually travelers who appreciated all that you do during this time. So thank you, and kudos for all of you guys for being able to win those awards this year.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to Angela, and this is specific for you guys, because you've worked in, over your resumes, you work at different properties and different brands, and you see.
Oh no, the age will come out.
I didn't say numbers, but I just said extensive resume.
Ouch.
Do a tally.
But I mean, you've seen it from different eyes, different perspectives, different countries. How do you think that the hospitality industry will use this forward? What are things from this pandemic that you think will be here to stay? And what do you think, in your opinion, would things that need to go or innovate even more in the future?
Maybe Claire should answer that.
Yeah, actually.
It's time for Claire to speak.
Are we talking about age now? That's why you're bringing me in.
She's being very quiet. It's time for her to speak.
No, I wanted Manila to be highlighted because you're the first stop as jump off to the destinations.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the industry has always been very agile, Alvin. There's always a way around things and coping and making sure that travel and tourism continues. I think it is a human nature to, really want to be out there and connect and share. And, with the everything on social media, inspired by the younger generation, there is always this sharing of experience and where I am and what I'm doing, and we like that. We are social animals, and we like that. So alongside that, hotels like Discovery continuously assess what goes on through the customer journey and what touch points are there available so that we can provide for these new requirements. The world is evolving, industry evolves with it, and Discovery always manages to strategize alongside all of those challenges. And we have several products that were introduced during the pandemic, and believe it or not, there have been the longest lockdowns in the past 2 years, but we have been absolutely at our busiest. And I still ask ourselves, why were we busy, But
Sorry.
right? Aside from
I'm apologizing. We're part of the reason in the management group why they're busy.
But you see,
No, but it's all good.
The usual room accommodation products, you have to evolve and keep that open mind that if people are not really able to come to you now, what else can you offer?
Mm-hmm.
How do you evolve and how do you get out of that box?
Yep.
And just bring in the revenue, because we have families to support, food on the table, and communities that we continue to support.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful points you pointed out. You talk about being agile and being able to like pivot or navigate through this. That's also into the Filipino culture, the Filipino ingenuity and resilience that we do because of our nature. We're natural immigrants that continuously, you can find Filipinos all across the globe being able to adapt and evolve in certain ways and cultures. And this just shows our ability to do that in different industries, in different economic sectors. And it shows that our community came together, just like Kathy pointed out, again, to become together, unite into a front so that we can be resilient once more and then bring us out into a renaissance of travel. So again, all of these key factors are really characteristics of Philippines and what it is to be Filipino, but showing it in an all-around industry. And I love it. I think Philippines is destined to be a great bucket list destination now more than ever because of its innovativeness and its developments in these last 2-3 years because of this pandemic. I think it was a really great time to do so.
Yeah. I think, Alvin, if I may add, talking about the Filipino character, we don't know how to give up, right?
Yeah.
Mainly because of our faith. Predominantly, we're all Catholics. I mean, if I may assume that, majority of the Philippines is a Catholic nation, right? And faith, well, whether Catholic or Christian or whatever, our faith is very strong. So we adjusting is not foreign to us. In fact, because we're not a first world, so to speak, right? We know how to adjust. And I think, going back to, you're looking at our resumes earlier, our experience from this pandemic, I realized, is really irrelevant. What's important is really about focusing on what do we need to do moving forward. Face realities, face the changes, and adapt to it, as you were rightfully saying. And it's a strength of the Filipino people to adapt.
Yep.
And that's why we know we're going to win in this pandemic challenge. It's not going to go away soon, but we will be able to live with it.
Yep.
And thrive.
Yeah. I totally agree. Oh, go ahead, Claire.
Yeah.
I wanted to...
Alvin, I think we owe also a lot to the leadership of the Department of Tourism.
Yep.
Because Secretary Berna has always been proactive in driving the private sector, rallying everyone, including the local government units, to come up with ways to encourage travel and build that confidence once again among the domestic market, because this is what we have at the moment. You're not able to visit us yet. So I think her leadership, of course, the proactive presence of the Department of Tourism attaches in the key cities in the world, who continuously really represent the industry wherever they are, whenever they have the opportunity to do so, is just simply remarkable.
Yeah, kudos to them again. Like they've during this challenging time, they were able to lead with leadership, with direction, and be able to navigate through this challenging time. And that kind of leads into my next question, because one of her projects was the World Travel and Tourism Council. And I know that conference is scheduled to be in March 2022 in person in Manila. And so, what is the excitement? The World Travel Trade Council has always made protocols for navigating through this pandemic. How important is this conference for inbound tourism to Philippines?
Oh my God, it might take one hour to explain this, to show you how excited we all are. I mean, it's if I may say in not so many words, I think the Philippines is very honored to be chosen as the next venue.
Mm-hmm.
We will show the world definitely that we are ready for international traffic. We have always been good when it comes to conference organizing, hospitality, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
can't even, words cannot even explain how natural it is when it comes to our unique Filipino hospitality. I think we can confidently showcase our health and safety protocols.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this will be a great opportunity, and everyone in the industry is taking this as, you know, the best chance for us to announce it to the world that, you know, the Philippines is worth looking at if they have not peaked yet. And, you know, we can showcase our strengths. You know, it's funny when you go to other countries and they don't know much about the Philippines, and then when you get to convince them to come to the Philippines, they're like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
where have you been? How come we didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'd like to think, you know, of course, we are more known now for several aspects, right?
Yeah.
We're known for singing, our hospitality, even Miss Universe, you know, we're always in the top choice and all that. But I think the country has so much to offer, so much to discover still. And it's still really a diamond in the rough. So I think WTTC has given us that opportunity to reintroduce the country worldwide. So everyone is excited, from the travel industry to the business sector. You know, the local government is obviously, you know, preparing for this. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
I'm really excited.
Yes.
You know,
Are you coming?
I hope so. Hopefully, I'm excited because I've been an advocate for the Philippines for a long time, and I know the beauty of it. And you know, I feel that when we sell Philippines, or when people are enticed to go to Philippines, we forget to include the emotional factors or the emotional drivers that bring us there.
That's right.
You know, we talk about like destinations and beaches, but it's not that. That's not what brings people. You were talking about it earlier. It's our faith. It's these undescribable emotions that brings us closer together. The ingenuity, the resilience. These are factors that people don't know about, but when you feel it, you feel it. And that's why you hear things like our mottos are like, you know, in the heart of the Filipino, these emotional things that drives us because we feel that. And as Filipinos, we need to sell those emotions. Those are the experiences that people are looking for, because through this pandemic, people are looking for meaning and purpose. And I think throughout this pandemic, people are looking for, you know, less overcrowdedness, things, destinations that, you know, gives some authenticity or genuine, so, you know, for human connection. And I believe now the Philippines is with this conference being a highlight or a marketing tool to show people the beauty of Philippines. This is going to catapult Philippines in a wide way that a lot of people will see us for who we are, not just as a beach destination, but for the people, for the traditions, and for the innovativeness that we haven't been able to show, but now we can. So, yeah, it's going to be a great year next year.
It will be.
Amen to that.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
So
We shall claim it. We shall claim it.
So we're talking about all of these things. You know, we're building, you know, new initiatives or new campaigns. But what type of experiences are new to, you know, what can Balabikans experience? What are new experiences that they can see in Philippines? Is there any new like sites or attractions, destinations that open up, places that you think are worth seeing for, you know, new travelers coming to Philippines for the first time?
Who wants to answer? Claire?
Let me try. Let me give it a shot. Well, definitely the travel behavior has changed, right? Initially, last year when we didn't know what was going to happen in the next months, the DOT, alongside with the Asian Institute Management and Guide to the Philippines under the Philippine Airlines umbrella, had a survey, trying to understand what will be in travel, and they showed that there is the propensity to want to be amidst nature, more of the outdoor travel. People wouldn't want to be in contained spaces. They want fresh air.
Yeah.
They want nature. So because of that, there are destinations or tourist spots maybe that were not really very familiar in the past, but now we're able to come to the forefront simply because they're within driving range. They're in I would call forest maybe, because abundance of trees and maybe a river. Camping happened. A lot of people who would go for the more high-end kind of maybe hotel facility would suddenly just want to go camping, right?
Yeah.
So it has certainly evolved, and this opened a lot of opportunities with the company, actually with Discovery, and maybe Kathy would want to explore on that a little bit later. It has begun to expand its portfolio and, partnering with other owners maybe who would want to take a shot in the industry but don't know how and are not familiar with best practices. So we do manage that already. A lot of more nature-based properties are in the pipeline. Okay. Aside from that, I would say new travel products and services coming out of that box. You don't just sell your room accommodations or overnight stays. Discovery Suites and Discovery Primea have managed to really find new revenue streams for travelers who decide to just stay put for a while, but they can still take advantage of other services of the city properties, even the destination properties with, buy now, travel later kind of vouchers. So these things we didn't do pre-pandemic. And we met because of this opportunity. So a lot of the things that we are doing now are digitally based. I can't see you face to face, but days are filled with Zoom interactions because, again, there is a need to really connect and to talk about now and talk about the future. What are your plans in the next 3 months? Always looking forward, always looking ahead. Also, it evolved in such a way that length of stay has increased, Alvin. From what was usually just 2 nights before, now a lot of us are campaigning for extended stays, minimum of 7 nights. Maybe because also of the testing requirements, the more challenging process of maybe going from point A to point B, and people would want to take advantage of that opportunity, so they stay longer. So in every challenge, there's always an opportunity, and again, that it's just the way that how you see things and how you adjust to it and adapt to it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I think that that's a key thing. Especially because we were contained, or the borders were closed, to find and realize the beauty of being in your area. A lot of people, like you said, camping and starting to explore our own country ourselves. That domestic tourism was a really big factor in maintaining the economy and maintaining operations for a lot of places, which will probably influence a lot how Balikbayans will come back. They'll encourage them to go travel and see these destinations that they've never seen. And that's going to bring a lot of economic dollars to lesser known destinations, places that are not of the forefronts. There's outside of Manila, outside of Cebu, smaller communities, and that will provide for those local communities. So I think that's a really great point that you pulled out. And that's really going to be my next question, because you mentioned the pipeline. So in 2022, is there any properties opening up or any new things in the pipeline for 2022 for Discovery Hospitality?
Yes, if I may. So as you heard earlier, they said we're busy. Yes, we're busy. And we take this busyness as a blessing, right? The company, we really believe in the domestic destinations in the Philippines. Our owners and the management company are striving hard to really promote our different destinations in the Philippines. So next year, just to name a few, we are opening a discovery resort in Sama, which is in Davao. Yes, so this is the first discovery resort in the Mindanao, Visayas Mindanao region, right? And we're also opening another resort under another brand that we are launching in El Nido. So that's going to be at the latter part of the year. And another brand which we are also launching, which is really more on a very bespoke, very boutique style sort of accommodation, whether resort or city hotel. We are opening a very unique resort in Negros, specifically in Sipalay as well, which is also at the third quarter or the fourth quarter of the year next year. So those are the three in the pipeline. But just to also give you an idea of what else we are working on, we have projects and we have timelines and targets to open several other resorts, namely in Siargao, in San Vicente, Palawan. As you know, we already have in Coron. So after we open El Nido next year, our target is to open in San Vicente. And then, as mentioned, Siargao as well. And we also have plans to open a resort in Baguio, in Benguet. So there's quite a number of projects that we are going to look forward to. So it's going to be exciting. And we will definitely update you, Alvin.
That's
amazing. So you can help us promote.
Oh yeah, it sounds amazing. Congratulations to all of you guys. And it sounds like the vision is not just the same, looking at different markets and really finding the demographics that really will be drawn to this. And that's important because I think what we've learned too is that customization is important to the traveler, to the consumer. True. They want specific things and they want it and they'll pay a lot to get those things. There's no more vanilla marketing. We need to concentrate on the preferences of what people want to really attract demographic. So I really love that Discovery Hospitality has realized that because that's the future. You can't make the same type of hotels in every location. They have to be and they have to and I love that. I love that recognition. Yeah.
I think this is the reason why we've had to have different sub brands under the Discovery brand, mainly because we want to cater to those specific markets. We are listening to them, and we're an all Filipino company, so we will focus on the Philippine treasures that we have, namely the different destinations.
Exactly. Right? That's and it's so wonderful. I think again, the world is going to be surprised when they unveil Philippines and see all of the innovations that we've done in these last 2 years. Pre-pandemic Philippines was depicted in a certain way, and I think after all of these, even just the airports, seeing the innovations in all the airports. I mean, a lot of Balikbayans are going to be surprised when they see, the airports. And I've seen some of the pictures. I have, some of my clients have been, and I am so astounded by how you've taken advantage of this time. So really, really kudos to the country.
Actually, if I may, not just the airport, we have opened Skyway during the pandemic.
That's right.
We have opened Skyway. We have, the T-Plex has actually been extended also further down north. So in terms of traveling, that used to be travel to Baguio of around what, 6 hours? It's not down to 3 to 4 hours. So
It's amazing.
it's not bad. Yeah.
Wow, you're always in La Union because it's faster now.
Because I'm from La Union. It
From
is
there.
that right. It's just 3 hours.
It's the same thing for north to south.
Yes,
It's the same thing for more north to south with the expressway. So for me,
That's right.
for someone like me from the north,
Mm-hmm.
it only takes now 1.5 to 2 hours maximum to get to Tagaytay, which is one of the most
Wow.
popular places now.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
And
That's
again,
right.
and it shows the ability to recognize setbacks and challenges in the infrastructure and really pinpointing those as areas of resolution to improve tourism when it does open back up. So again, forecasting, and it's wonderful to see this, especially when we say a third world country, but we're moving our way up. We're getting there. But I want to thank you, all of you guys, for coming out here. I know we're in different time zones, so getting everyone on the same time is really difficult, but I really appreciate technology and then all your willingness to participate. I really do. But I do want to ask, and of course, you guys have any final thoughts or, any plug that you want to do for your properties. I'll start off with Carlo. Any final thoughts or advice that you can say for our viewers?
For our viewers from the US particularly, we invite you to explore again Philippines. It's always worth going back home. There are so many things that you can do now. It's as if we already survived or triumphed over this pandemic. And there's so much things to see. As Kathy mentioned a while ago, there's so much to discover. There's so much to offer, from the city up to the resorts. Philippines has evolved into something else after this pandemic. It's not the old Philippines that you visited few years back. It definitely, the pandemic has definitely made it better. So come back home and see Philippines again, and of course stay with Discovery.
Yes. Last points, Carlo.
Who wants, Angela, you want to go and let me
Okay,
last thoughts?
yes. Well, I just want to give a brief for those who doesn't know Discovery Primea yet. We are located in Makati, right across Response Shopping Center. So as I've mentioned in my, when I mentioned about the protocol, we will hold your hands throughout your journey when you do your quarantine, and you're very much welcome to stay on. I mean, we are giving a very good deal for balikbayans when they, decide to extend their stay with us. Philippines has, I wanted to mention also that, for the foodies, Philippines is a must-go-to country. We have a lot of provinces, and each province has a different, specialties. We have now places wherein families can dine in houses with a private chef, with their heirloom recipe, and that would be very, good at this time, because if it's pre-pandemic, it's only with your family. So, and you get to experience that culture, that the authentic food that they have. So yeah, come visit Philippines. It's not as it's not the journey will not be as bad. We will make it as convenient as possible. We'll try to make it as seamless as possible for you. And for those asking, Alvin, I just want to mention, because there are a lot of foreign guests, or I would even say Filipinos, coming home that wants to bring their pets. We welcome pets at Discovery Primea. So you can bring your dog with you when you come home. So, you don't miss them. So they can stay with you. And we do have also, because we are very much concerned also of the wellness, we partnered with Electric Studio. Mm-hmm. So if they want to still continue on with their exercise daily routine or daily exercises, we can set up electric bikes. I mean, bikes in their room, boxing. So, they still stay fit while doing their quarantine with us. So anyway, huwag maging dayuhan sa sariling bayan. So
That's
please
true.
visit the Philippines
Bravo.
again.
It has to be in Tagalog.
Yes, it has to be in
Bravo,
Tagalog. Okay, thank you, Alvin.
Thank you, Pa.
Hope to see you in Primea.
I'm sure I'll be there soon.
Yeah.
Claire or Kathy, did you guys want to do any final thoughts? Or
Go ahead, Claire.
Okay. All right. Well, just some tips. Of course, we have to constantly remain vigilant, always be safe, and just continue with basic safety protocols and learn about the new normal in the destinations that you're eyeing on, so that you can prepare. So for Discovery Shores Boracay, just visit our website www.discoveryshoresboracay.com, and for Club Paradise, it's www.clubparadisepalawan.com. And we've got a checklist there that is consistently updated so that you are guided every step of the way. Sabi nga ni Angela, hahawakan namin ang kamay ninyo. Right?
That's a standard across all discoveries.
For the Filipinos in the US and of course our kababayans, come home, revisit and rediscover your homeland. She is still very, very beautiful, even more pristine. Visit our beaches. She has islands and the highlands, and they're not man-made, but we also have man-made attractions. And note that every city has its own mall. So come and visit. She has very friendly people. There is no language barrier. World recognized beaches. She has them, and Discovery Hospitality has 2 of them. I represent them. Kathy used to, be with the resorts also very, very directly. So as my cousin in the US says it, it's bang on the buck, because check the foreign exchange, and the rest of it is just part of the Philippines charm. Alvin, maraming salamat.
thank you so much. And Kathy?
Well, these 3 leaders of our beautiful properties in the Philippines have said it all. We are happy to welcome everybody from the US, specifically for the balikbayans. We, in fact, have an official balikbayan offer for all our properties. So they will have, we have them in mind. So you just have to ask for the balikbayan offer for Discovery Primea, Discovery Suites, Discovery Shores in Boracay, and Club Paradise in Coron. These are all really good. We are blessed with very good properties and very good people in it. As what we always say, we give service from the heart, truly. And especially to our dear balikbayans who help in the economies of the Philippines. You are our VIPs. So we will look forward to welcoming all of you, whether you stay in Metro Manila only, or if you want to go experience Boracay or Coron in Palawan, please contact us. We can give you our contact details. We're very easy to talk to, and also look forward to our future properties in the pipeline in the next year. Thank you very much, Alvin, for this opportunity. I hope this won't be the last. When we have new information for you, we'll definitely update you.
No, thank you.
Maraming
So much.
salamat.
Thank you so much for all of you guys being able to participate and share your insights. I really appreciate sharing and letting all of our viewers know what to expect in the Philippines. We hear things from the news, but from you guys who's there, living it, breathing it, your experiences and sharing with us, I myself can't wait to set a flight and end up in Philippines. I'm really excited to be there. But thank you again for all of you guys to be here.
Take
care, guys.
Our pleasure.
Merry Christmas, Alvin.
Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Alvin, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
So how wonderful is it to have all your kababayans so close yet so far? The virtual world has allowed us the ability to communicate and share information, but also bring us that much closer to the real world. I'm super thankful for Kathy, Angela, Claire, Carlo for spending a few minutes of their busy time to update us on the Filipino tourism and prepare us for all of our trips back home. You know, all of us are preparing ourselves for the Philippines, but please make sure to incorporate a domestic trip throughout the country and really help support the local economies. Tourism will play an important factor in the rebuilding of cities, communities, and hopefully provide more jobs. I urge all of our viewers to either plan or think about planning a trip to the Philippines, and I know that we would welcome you all with open arms. So thank you again for all of our viewers who are able to spend a few minutes of their day to learn more about this industry. And plus, you can always reach out to our award-winning travel agency, TravelWise International, at 301-248-8898, or visit us on the web at www.itravelwise.com. We have specialized in the Philippines for over 33 years, and we can't wait to create extraordinary experiences for all of you. So thank you to all our viewers and listeners who may be able to join us today. Have a safe and happy holidays. Until next time, smart people travel wise.
Just like a friend from back home. This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.